talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about. Let's talk about. Yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host. And Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Wellness Wednesday, which is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to chat about something interesting and intriguing. Today, we are talking about a Black political agenda. And I have not one, not two, but three very special guests in the studio today, all from Tallahassee A.L.E.R.T, which stands for African American Local Election Review Team. And so I'm super excited to have them here with me tonight. But before I bring them on, I need to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Your comments, your questions are very much so welcome. So please put your city and state in the comments so we can give you a shout out. And please like, share, tag a friend. Let them know they need to be on here and part of this very important conversation, a Black political agenda. All right. So I'm still basking in the glow of the 10-year anniversary of Conversations with Nicole. Sunday was just fabulous. Monday was great too, because that was my actual 10-year anniversary. And folks have still been like wishing me well, sending contributions, which I'm still accepting contributions because we are doing this work full time now. We need all of the love and the financial support that we can get. And so I'm just grateful to the community, both here in Tallahassee and abroad, right? So just again, thank you all. And next Tuesday, we will be at the Leon County Courthouse. We are getting a proclamation at 3 p.m. Next Tuesday at the courthouse. So if you are available, come through and celebrate that great moment with us as we continue the celebration of our decade of service and connecting the community through conversations. All right, so I see a few folks have joined us. Miss Juice Bar Miami herself, Miss Tangela Lofton. Thank you for being here, Tan. I'm going to go ahead and share my guest bio. So first up is Dr. Bruce Strouble, who is a seasoned program manager specializing in community development, sustainability, and resilience. His experience includes programs for Groundwork USA, the City of Tallahassee, Florida A&M University Sustainability Institute. He is the executive director of Citizens for a Sustainable Future, board chair of Rethink Energy Florida, and author of his wonderful book, By Any Dreams Necessary. And so Bruce is no stranger to conversations with Nicole, having been on several times, both by himself and with other panelists. So y'all help me welcome Mr. Dr. Bruce Strouble.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Awesome to
Hey.
be on Conversations with Nicole. This is 10 years. It's amazing.
I know it's hard to believe, but we here. So tell the people, Dr. Struble, who is Bruce Struble and what do you want us to know about you? Not
Man,
what you do, not what you do,
what
but
I
who
do, I'm a father, husband, community activist, community person who just cares about people, who cares about Black people deeply and our future on this planet. And I'm always just building community and building teams to work on the issues that I care about. So I'm happy to bring some of my team here with me tonight so y'all can see who's behind all this work that's happening.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. Well, so glad you're here. All right. Next, we have Melanie Andrade, who is a seasoned political strategist and advocate with extensive experience in governmental affairs, social justice, and reproductive justice. She currently serves as the policy director at Florida Health Justice Project and works to advance policies that promote healthcare access for all Floridians. She also serves as a policy consultant to Southern Birth Justice Network, where she advocates for maternal and infant health, birth justice, and reproductive justice, and deputy chair at of the policy advocacy at Tallahassee A.L.E.R.T. Y'all help me welcome Miss Melanie Andrade.
Good
Yeah.
evening. Thank you for
Yeah.
having us.
My pleasure, my pleasure. All right, Melanie, tell the people who is Melanie, not what you do. Who are you?
Not what I do, who I am. Well, I'm a mother of three.
Mhm.
Um, I describe myself as a passionate person. I'm a storyteller. I'm a community person. I'm somebody who's rooted in my culture and my beliefs. And so, being amongst the community and doing things to really set up our children, and it's not just my three, but all of the children in our community for a better future is, I think, why I exist. So it's hard to say who I am without what I do, but I think that who I am is it lends itself to what I do and why I'm supposed to be here.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you so much. So happy to have you. And last but certainly not least is Miss Serenity Williams, who is a political organizer and strategist rooted in Tallahassee, Florida, with family ties to Quincy, Florida. Big cute little Y. A lifelong organizer. Her earliest political memory is canvassing and phone banking for Barack Obama in 2008. She holds a bachelor's degree in political science and a master's in public administration, grounding her advocacy in strategy and governance. Serenity empowers Black, Latin, and working class communities through neighborhood organizing and leadership development. She is passionate about building civic power that lasts beyond election cycles and outside of politics. She enjoys playing piano, brunching with friends, and strengthening the community. And she serves as the deputy chair of community organizing at Tallahassee A.L.E.R.T. Help me welcome Serenity Williams.
Hey everybody, come
Hey,
on,
my
10
sister.
years, that is big.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. So tell the people, Serenity. Who is Serenity? Not what you do, but who are you?
Not what I do, who am I? I am a proud Tallahassean, proud daughter of Cynthia Fields. Shout out to my mama. I love her so much. She really gives me the strength to do what I do every day. And I guess I'm just a good troublemaker in and outside of the work I do. So I'm just happy to be here and to start something up.
Love it. I love it.
All right, we got a few more folks that are joining us, so let me just shout them out real quick. Sambaza, my podcast brother, or cousin, actually in Dallas. Congratulations on 10 years. Thank you so much, Sambaza. Thank you for joining us. Letitia, thank you for being here. Congratulations on 10 years. I appreciate it. You're a blessing to the community. Appreciate that. And Enigma Sep, keep the resistance. Thank you, E. We appreciate you. All right, so y'all, please like, share, tag a friend, tell them they need to join this conversation because we are talking a Black political agenda.
Let's get into
So,
it.
before we get started, though, I want to give just a moment of silence for great statesmen. First person I ever heard of, first Black man I ever heard of that ran for president of these United States, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. So, if we would just give a brief moment of silence in recognition of his transition and just the great work that he has done for us. All right, thank you. So, in the spirit of listen, Black politics, and a black agenda, if you will. I want to just start with what we believe a black agenda is. So,
Yeah.
anybody?
Can I jump in first, ladies?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
All right. So I think I want to kind of set the context of why this is so necessary, right?
Okay.
You could look across the country. We see voter suppression happening as recently as yesterday,
Hmm.
attacks on public education, attacks on civil rights, economic displacement of Black communities, these data centers propping up right near Black communities. Black people are being attacked from every angle. This is not new for our communities. This is something that's been ongoing since our time coming to this country. And the way we have always resisted is by pulling together and creating community programs. And one thing that we've done in an extension of our community programs, generally growing out of the Black church, growing out of Black movement spaces, is we've mustered up political capital to push back and hold mainstream America to the rules that it set in the Constitution. This is not the end all be all of how we advance, but it is a critical step in securing our future on this planet as Black American people. So when we're talking about a Black political agenda, it's something that has to be unapologetic. We have to look at the world as we see it and say, these are the things that our people need to survive. These are the things that our people need to be sustainable. These are the challenges that we're facing, and this is the policy that we want to address it. We're taxpayers, we're mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, sisters, brothers, and we should be driving policy that uplifts our community and makes our lives easier. That's what everyone else does, and we have a responsibility to do it for ourselves as well.
All right. Anybody else want to add to that?
Sure, I can hop in. You know, I've worked on political campaigns. I've worked on the other side on legislative, like issue-based campaigns, and oftentimes I think that Black voters, Black constituents, Black people, and other people of color were relegated to a container. I'll describe it as that. We're relegated to a container. We are discussed as our own issue in itself. So when other issues are discussed, it's generally talking about people. And I guess it's talking about white people because when it's Black people, it's a Black issue. Like we literally have to frame it as such. We talk about it in a different context and it kind of goes in this container. Criminal justice, right, quote unquote, is an example of that. I think that what we're doing in Tallahassee Alert certainly last year, because I mean we've been doing this for years, but I think last year it delivered a shock to the system locally, and I'm excited to get into that discussion. But what we're doing, I don't think is super radical, to be honest. We're literally just saying we're not begging nobody to put us on their agenda and to make us their priority. We are creating our own agenda. We're articulating our own issues. And I think that it's crucial for us to do that because, first of all, we're already at the forefront. When you think about politics, pop culture, and so many other things, Black people already create it. We lead it. We just are not seen as the strategists and as the leaders of it. So this is about us like just taking up the mantle, really, because it's like, who are we waiting on?
I say.
Okay.
I
All
mean,
right.
both of my colleagues there said pretty much a lot, and it really frames a lot of what I was going to say too. Again, as someone born and raised here in Tallahassee, Gen Z, like we're never seem to be in the front of any conversation unless it's sometimes feels like it's bad, like it's already too late, like it's already something already predetermined. And as I think maybe somebody that's stubborn and hard headed, as my other Gen Zers, I guess, like I don't want people making decisions for me. I want to choose to make the decisions for myself. And I think a Black political agenda means having the power to decide our own future. And that's exactly what I want to do. And that's why I'm with A.L.E.R.T.
Hey.
Okay. Very good. Very good. All right. A few more folks have joined us. Dr. Willie Williams, thank you for the congratulations. And Erica Bradley, a very small container at that, she says. Yes.
Another alert member in the chat. We see you, Erica.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, so let's move on. And I would love to hear from the viewers in terms of what your thoughts are on what a Black agenda consists of. Okay, so if you don't mind sharing, let us know. Let us know. All right, so let's talk specifically Black Tallahassee. What do
Yeah,
we want to say about that?
absolutely. I think a lot of times when people talk about politics, everyone's focused on Trump and Washington and what's going on there. And I always say, like, people will be dead set on what's happening in DC and not focusing on the Trump at your city, on the Trump like activity, I should say, at your city hall and at your local courthouse and at your police station and at your school board. So
Yeah.
we like to try to redirect people's attention to say, think about what's happening globally and nationally, but your actions, your first action should be locally. That's not to say we don't get engaged at the federal and state level, but the people who are at the grocery store, whose kids go to school with your kids, who are walking through your neighborhoods, and you could drive up the street and see them, they're making decisions that are some of the first decisions that are some of the first are some of the decisions that have the immediate consequences of taking your rights away. So a lot of times civil rights are lost locally before they're lost nationally. And I think that's something we have to focus on when we talk about what we're doing here in Tallahassee. So I'm going to let Serenity and Mel tell y'all some of the stuff we got going.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like Bruce said, I think local issues are top issues for me. Like Bruce said, the first things that you interact with, whether you got lights on in your house, whether there's a grocery store in your neighborhood, whether there's roads that are paved and good to drive on, that comes from your local government. And so right now with Tallahassee Alert, we have a couple of campaigns going on. First and foremost being setting the agenda for what goes on, what goes into our county charter. We have a Restoring Communities Amendment, which would audit past public policies in the county and see what issues need to be addressed from those policies, what harms were caused by those policies, and how can we go forward to address them. And then we also have a food systems. Well, it's not an amendment now, but it is an ordinance, or could be an ordinance soon, that would add in a division into, I think, the Human Services division of our county administration. Which would again try to set plans and give good security or feedback about what is going on with our food systems in Leon County. As we know from during COVID, when things were closed down or when people lost their jobs, you never know what could happen. And people were going hungry. People are still going hungry even after then. And so we need to set a plan and have annual reporting as to what is going on with the money that we send in to make sure our people are fed here in Leon County.
Excellent.
All right. Melanie?
Yes. So I was making my notes to what my colleagues were saying to make sure that I touch on, I kind of round us out and touch on some things. You know, talking from a Black perspective always, never general over here. Talking to our folks, politics, we hear politics and we think about politicians, right? Oftentimes we don't make the connection to the local issues that Bruce and Serenity highlighted. I mean, we're talking about housing, policing, schools, land use, public health, our economy, the way that our tax dollars are used right here at home. When big things happen and they kind of go viral and they have a moment, for example, giving 20 million of taxpayer dollars to FSU to help them out with their the Doak Stadium renovations. That was a moment. People were mad about it. But there's a disconnect there. There's not an understanding on who made that decision and why. Why did they have the authority to make that decision? And so, yes, we should care about what's happening at the federal level, but literally one election, 200 people, 200 voters can make the difference. We can have different people elected to office, which would completely change the way that we run our government. What Serenity was referring to, the Charter Review Committee for our county. This committee is a body of appointed people. We were able to push to get Dr. Strouble on the committee. And it only happens once every 8 years, right? So this is a pretty big deal. There are numerous ways that we can change our county charter. And our charter is kind of like a constitution, but specific to Leon County. It's our governing document. And one of the ways is by this Citizen Charter Review Committee, just like it sounds. The idea is simple. It's that the citizens get an opportunity to have a direct impact in shaping the way that we run our government. And so this is something that we wanted to have, we pushed to get numerous A.L.E.R.T members on, and we wanted to do that. Why? Strategically, because this is a way that we can have our voices heard in a more clear and direct fashion. We can always go to Leon County Commission meetings and speak during public comment, but that committee had the authority to direct county staff to do research, to do analysis, to come back with draft language. And so A.L.E.R.T, not only for those two policies that Serenity was talking about, but we were also able to get involved and help push for the affordable housing proposal that is going to go in front of the county. So the next step is for these things to go in front of the county. The Charter Review Committee made their recommendations, and now the County Commission will take a look at what they came up with. Okay. Honestly, truly, if Bruce wasn't on there, if Dr. Strouble wasn't on there, I don't think we would have as much materials coming out of the Charter Review Committee, so.
Thank you. And they say thanks to me, but we had these two in our A.L.E.R.T team driving that policy to me, and I was shooting it into the colony. So into the committee. So it's a team effort, and that is something that's been missing from Black people's approach to local politics, is that we've been told vote this way, vote that way, and that's been the end of people's political experience. So what we're trying to do at A.L.E.R.T is organize our communities to say we're going to be involved in the full process of local policy, from its inception to them signing it into the charter or making the ordinances. So we were in meetings today. We were meeting with commissioners. We met with commissioners yesterday. We have meetings with commissioners scheduled. And one big issue coming up is the vote on the TMH transfer that's happening next week. We will be talking about it. If you turn on local news, we have statements in the media all the time voicing the opinions of our members and our team about how we want to be more involved in these processes. So this is important to us, and it speaks to a community level of organization. We have not necessarily created a new party, but we have created a process and I guess you would say a mechanism for Black people to generate policy that benefits their communities unapologetically. And that has brought us into some conflict with groups of Black people and white conservatives and white liberals.
Okay. Interesting. So I want to bring some attention to some of the comments and some of the folks that have joined us. We got Christique on the live. Thank you for being here, as well as Dr. Marcus Nicholas. Erica said it starts at home. We got Kayla Norris Barber. It is imperative that we get involved in the political and economic process starting at the neighborhood level.
Absolutely.
Right. Yes. Erica, limited now, right? I think that might have been based on a comment earlier, maybe by Melanie. I'm sorry, I'm a little delayed on the comments. She said true, impactful. And then one Mac. What qualifies these three to speak on a Black agenda? Well, I've asked.
First of all, I am Black. Like, what is
you don't see my skin. No.
Let me just say, I've asked the viewers to comment on what a Black agenda might look like as well. So please, if you have thoughts about what that is,
exactly.
I would like to try to answer that question for
who. That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, I mean, if you are Black and you want to have a say on the agenda, you have enough qualifications to speak on what is a Black agenda.
Democracy.
It is a democracy. You are a living human being, and you can make those decisions. I think because we are together as a unit, that pushes what the A.L.E.R.T's group members and our thought processes and how that came together for what we determined was a Black political platform. But if you want to start a organization and get people in there and have strategy conversations and want to push what you think a Black political agenda is, you definitely certainly can.
Yeah, I wonder if the brother's saying, why can we speak for the entire community? Or he's saying everyone with black skin isn't qualified. That's, I don't necessarily, I think everyone could speak on the agenda, but what we've done is we're not just talking for just us three. We have a group, we have several members, and we all are working together. We just had our last annual meeting for February, our annual Black History Month meeting. We had people come together. We're doing an entire process to kind of turn our ideas into policy. So I think that qualifies as the fact that we've been able to organize, we studied the issues, and we are rooted in the community. And as long as we have that, I mean, I feel qualified and I don't need any, despite my degrees and all the studying I've done, I don't feel the need for any external validation. I'm validated by the community that supports me.
Okay. All right. Ozzy has just joined us out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Thank you so much. And one Max said, thank you, doctor. Okay. So let's go on to Black politics. And so we're kind of breaking this down in terms of progressive, conservative, and MAGA. So who wants to tackle that one?
I think it's important. I mean, like, for us, and we consider ourselves, I guess, like Black progressives. I mean, Black leftists, you know, whatever people kind of want to call it. But I think we should define what that means.
Okay.
And then we can go into what those other, like, you know, factions are. And for me, I think being a Black progressive, first and foremost, you center the humanity of all people. Sometimes Black people, we like to even carve out like boxes of different types of Black people, whether they might be immigrants, documented or undocumented, whether they might be a part of the LGBTQ community, whether they might be poorer or richer. As long as you are a living, breathing human being, I think you deserve dignity and respect. And I also believe that also with that humanity, we need to give dignity and respect to the land that we stand on, that we live on, that we take from. We need to care for that land. I think as Black people, that has been our just ancestral responsibility. And I also believe that when it comes to just, I think everyday issues, they just need to be rooted in those issues. And I'll let, you know, everyone else sort of answer.
Okay. Anybody want to speak to a progressive definition?
Yeah, I think, again, just looking at when we say Black progressives, we are approaching it from I think Serenity started off, it centers humanity of all people, and it elevates the dignity of Black people, Black families, Black men, Black women, and Black children. But it's not traditionally how everything was centered on Black men in a patriarchal sense. We want to uplift and respect everyone without recreating those hierarchies that caused oppression and conflict within our communities. So we're looking at ways of how do we move Black communities forward? How do we move our people forward and prepare our people for survival in harmony with the environment? So we're protecting our communities and we're building alliances with other communities, as long as, like Malcolm would say, as long as it's truly committed to progress. So I think it's all about protecting everyone's humanity, but then also being able to unapologetically prioritize Blackness and affirm our culture and our heritage with no, I don't think anything that we want to, it's nothing we should be ashamed of. We want to uphold it. So I'll leave it at that.
So
Yeah,
we got a lot of comments, but Melanie, I'm gonna let you go ahead and then we'll jump on these comments. Okay.
I was gonna say, as far as the definition of a Black progressive, I won't spend too much time on it. I think they hit the nail on the head. I just want to reiterate that it's not really about a political affiliation, right? So the whole idea of Dems and Republicans and liberal and all of that, like, it's not really that. But for context, I think that, you know, we'll use some of those words as we start to talk about specifically in Tallahassee, where we see ourselves situated as Black progressives.
Okay. Very good. Well, thank you for that. So we are like almost at the halfway mark, just a few seconds shy of that. For those of you who are just tuning in, we are talking a Black political agenda. I have Dr. Bruce Strouble, Melanie Andrade, Serenity Williams, all of Tallahassee Alert, Alert standing for African American Local Election Review Team. And boy, this has been an engaging, robust conversation. The viewers are getting a little riled up, I think. Uh, Ada has joined us. She said, "I like the question regarding speaking on the Black agenda. Don't hate me, y'all. It's fine." Erica, a Black agenda in Tallahassee should focus on economic ownership, land and agriculture, education, neighborhood investment, health, and real participation in policy decisions. The goal isn't just programs, it's building assets and opportunities so the community can control its own future. I can get with that.
Self-determination. I like
I
that,
can get with
sister.
Yep,
that.
yep,
What you say? Did you say Coochie Chocolate, sir? Okay,
Yes,
anyway.
she
yep, yep,
did.
yep,
Uh,
yep, yep.
KJ, hey me. Thank you for being here. Dr. Anika Fields, appreciate you being here. Okay, one Max said white liberals, progressives, and their peons are just as mad as MAGA. Ooh, okay, we stirring up the pot here. All right, Erica, a lack of unity waters down our impact. Thank you for your comment. Dr. Willie said, "Good evening. In Leon County, Black residents represent roughly 30 to 33% of the population, which is a significant and an influential share of the community. What is a strategy used to recruit and gain more support from the Black community for a Black agenda?" Great question.
Yeah.
Hold on, we got Warren Cave. I'm gonna come. So think about if y'all want to respond to Dr. Willie, okay?
Yeah,
And I
I'm responding to Doc.
Okay, cool. Warren Cave just joined us late, but here, love the conversation. Thank you, Warren. KJ, we are one. Speak, male, educate the people. Uh,
AK.
all right, Dr. Fields, good evening. Thank you, Dr. Fields and Warren. Just getting here. I love what Kayla Norris had to say. All right, so I'm gonna go back to Dr. Willie, and then one Meg, I'll come back to your comment in just a moment. All right,
Yeah.
what you got?
So I think to this question is a great question. It's something we wrestle with, not just now, but it's something Black organizations have been facing over time because under the weight of white supremacy and the fear of retaliation and response, Black people have often had to make very strategic decisions about when to resist and when to just comply. So what
Mhm.
happens is, I think something I learned from Bobby Seale one time when he came to FAMU and I got a chance to talk with him, is he said one thing they were doing with the Panthers is that they were demonstrating to the people, so the people in public, so the people could see them, and that's why they had the martial dress and they were out visible. And when the people could witness this, it gave people like that inspiration to step up. So one thing we try to do with Tallahassee Alert that we learned from our ancestors and our elders is you have to get out there and you have to demonstrate to the people winning
Yes.
is possible when we organize, when we put in the work, and when we are strategic. And so we choose battles strategically. We say we might be able to win this one. Let's bring the people out there and show them that we could get this done. Now, that doesn't mean everything's going to go as planned. It doesn't mean everything's going to be perfect, but it's a recruitment strategy to bring people along into the process and make them feel engaged and let them feel ownership of the process. When you just have those old fashioned top down organizations where you have the leader telling everybody this is what we should do, that turns people off. So
Mhm.
we're trying to bring people into that understanding that we can win when we unify, when we find solidarity amongst ourselves, when we don't focus on what divides us, but we focus on the things that bring us together.
Okay. Love it. All right. Let me so let me go back to one Mac, but let me acknowledge some folks. Rachel Favors just joined us. She said this is a great topic that needs to be discussed more often. Thank you, Rachel, for
Another
being.
alert member.
Yes, Kayla Norris Alert extends a warm invitation to one Mac and Janita to join and influence our
Join
agenda.
us.
All right. Yes. All right. KJ said collective impact.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
Erica, too much compromise. All right, so I'm gonna go back to one Mac, and then I'm gonna uh go to Mutaki's comment. All right, so Malcolm X spoke about the wolf in sheep clothes. Matt Lowe, the local NAACP, and the environmental folks hold us back. You're not morally wrong. Your moralism doesn't win elections. Interesting.
Moral, okay. Moralism doesn't win elections, but I think my sisters will tell you the challenges we have with this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it I think it's a two, like maybe it's a, multi-layered answer to that. I mean, at the end of the day, the only way that you win an election is if you vote. And if those people can mobilize enough people to go out and vote, they're going to win. And so, because they are in office, they mobilize enough people who chose to go vote to vote for them and won. If you don't like who is in office, you can mobilize people who agree with you and go vote and vote for someone else. And I think that people shouldn't just go out and vote for people like Dr. Strouble said, just because somebody told you to. You should have, a reason as to why you want to go and vote for someone. And that's why we have alert, is so we have some sort of issues that we say this is going to be an issue that I'm going to go out and vote for somebody for. They either accept this or you will not get my vote. And so I think that's just like first and foremost. You could care about who you want to care about, but you need to care about them because of a reason, or you need to have a reason as to why you want somebody gone. And I think the only way you can get there is if you organize with multiple people. You're not going to win anything by being mad and then sitting home, or doing this a protest vote thing of like voting for Mickey Mouse or something like that. Like you're not changing anything. That is what's holding us back. You know how many people don't vote? How many Black people don't vote in this county? That is what's holding us back. And so, if you want to push us forward, organize, talk to your neighbors, tell them what issues you care about, have them share what issues they care about, organize around an issue, and go out and vote for who is going to champion that issue.
Love it.
Okay. All right.
Malcolm X spoke about the wolf in sheep clothes. Matlow, the local NAACP, and the environmental folks hold us back. So, Mac, I'm gonna say this because I think one of the things that we wrestle with at us three here, and we are expanding our, like, we have a core team, we have we have layers and levels to alert. And funny enough that you should bring this up, because we actually just voted to create another tier of membership, I guess, for lack of a better way to describe it, of allies. So these are folks who are not Black, but they do not have voting power in our organization, so they cannot shape the agenda. The whole purpose and premise of our organization is self-determination. So, we're not bringing in white progressives to help us shape our agenda, but certainly if they want to be a part of the general community and kind of be hands, because we need hands. Many hands make light work, right? The three of us can't do it all, or we have a few more like in the general like leadership team. But the reason why I laugh when I read that is because over the past few election cycles in Tallahassee, we've seen white progressives and Black progressives run together, run on the same platform, on mailer material together, all the things. But the black progressives, excuse me, continuously lose while the white progressives win. So that says something to you about the base of voters who will vote for a white progressive and a Black moderate or a Black conservative, depending on how you view our current Black leadership. So I feel like we have more questions than answers, but that's a lot of what this work is about. It's not about, we don't purport to know. And that's why I laughed when you said, like, what makes them, like, we don't think we know the answer, but we just know that we can't sit around and wait on the answer. Like, us doing the work is the answer. So I guess for me, like, and really for us, because we keep having this discussion, I think we have this discussion every day at this point. What other people are trying to do, that's fine, but we can't let it deter us from what we're doing. And we're keeping our eyes on our long-term goals, and we're focused on our strategy. Now, I will say this. We've heard time and again that it's going to take a white progressive man to defeat the Black moderates that we have in leadership. And I think that that's anti-Black. I think that that's racist. I think that you can't really truly understand A.L.E.R.T's mission as a non-Black person. So the white progressives out there, you're probably watching us now. You can't truly support us as allies, and you can't truly claim to be down for the cause, so to speak, if you don't believe that a Black progressive
Is
is a
viable.
viable candidate. That means that you don't think I can run for office and win. You don't think Dr. Strouble is a good enough candidate for you to get behind. And when you say things like that in public, you're influencing other white and non-Black people to follow you. And I think that's probably why folks like Mac M don't fool with y'all. So if y'all want to be broader and y'all want to bring in more people, that's what you would need to change. But I wouldn't push you to do that because A.L.E.R.T's organizing our people anyway. I don't need you to make space for us. We're making our own agenda.
There it goes. So I just want to follow that really quickly and say that again, because I see certain names keep coming up in the comments of some of the white progressives who are elected. We don't answer to those people. And in fact, we are in the process of building power so that those people, whether if they're allied with this or if not, they will answer to our community. We believe that as Doc said earlier, the Black people are 30 to 33% of the electorate here. That is considerable voting power. And the more people we unify and the more we're organized and could keep that unity through election cycles, we could demand from anyone who's elected what we want, or we could get them out of there. The community, there's a split between other voting groups. So we have the ability to be that swing vote. So like Mel said, we are making our own space. We're not begging anybody for anything. We will dictate our own agenda and we will support the candidates regardless of their color, who can help us advance the agenda that benefits our communities.
Okay. Thank you for that comment. All right. So here we are. Mutaki, thank you for being here. He said, understanding that Black is not limited to progressive and there is a spectrum. How do you bring together the entire spectrum to build real Black political power?
I mean, that's a great question because Black people aren't a monolith. Everyone believes everything because they come from various different experiences, different places, different upbringings, etc. And again, as for me, as someone who holds on to, again, what it means to be a Black progressive, we could talk economics for a minute because I think that's where a lot of Black people sort of splinter off. Mm-hmm. I know if you celebrate Kwanzaa or not, or know about Kwanzaa, the economic tier of Kwanzaa is cooperative economics. Mm-hmm. And I think the problem and why I don't subscribe to some Black conservatives or their thought on economics is because they are about sole ownership. And you are trying to solely make a path for you in a white supremacist system and, to forget the grand masses of everyone else. And I cannot subscribe to that. I have to subscribe to what I know works for my people, and that is cooperative economics. I know that when we put our money together and we can run businesses together and when we can share our resources together and amongst the group and amongst the masses of the group, that is when we win. We cannot win if you are trying to implement yourself into a white supremacist system and hoping that you can carve out a way for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you lose your humanity as a Black person trying to fit yourself in a box that was not made for you. So I think, I understand that there's a spectrum of people, and I hope to, move people to sort of like my sort of like philosophy and thinking. It is not going to happen overnight. And and it doesn't mean that I still can't organize with you, because of course there's other things that we might agree with. There might be some environmental stuff that you might agree with me on. There might be some housing things that you might agree with me on. But at the end of the day, like, we are stuck or held back as a people because we are still trying to fit ourselves in a white supremacist system that was not made for us. And to make sure that we can make a system for us, we have to cooperate with each other. So that means not opening a grocery store just for you to solely profit. Maybe think about opening a co-op where everyone can profit and everyone can get resources from. That is what people in Tulsa did. That is what, all of these things that people want to bring back and say, oh, that was Black, success. Those were cooperatives. And we have to learn our history because the white man isn't going to teach you that.
Yeah. It's a really challenging question, Nicole, that Mutaki posed, because we do have divisions. We're not going to get absolute unity. But I think I said we strive to find the areas where we can agree and try to avoid the areas of division. But when there's divided, we have to have a process. And that's what we're working towards in A.L.E.R.T, is having our process where we don't agree, but we do have consensus on this. So let's move forward. But never... because a part of that spectrum is there are Black people amongst us, elected officials even, who have adopted anti-Black policy. We can't make space for that. That has to be, there has to be a point where we say we can't go there with you. We can't follow you down that road. So there does have to be that place where we're not going to support just because they're Black. They can't be a part of it until they are willing to shake off their white supremacist ideology and break free from the masters who are supporting them and controlling them, and then they could come back into the community if the community feels like allowing them back in after those transgressions. But we can't build with everybody because we have people working against us. That's why Harriet had to leave certain people behind. So unfortunately, everyone can't come, and we recognize that. But if you are for Black progress, and you don't have to call yourself a progressive, but you want to see the Black community doing better, then that's who we're willing to work with and build power with.
All right.
Yeah, I think Dr. Strouble had summed up what I was going to say, but I feel like the first time I ever read the words breaking the chains of mental slavery was reading Dr. Naeem Akbar. So I don't know if you asked that question to just challenge us, but I'm like, yeah, your daddy taught me this. But no, another thing I'll just say is that Tallahassee A.L.E.R.T has attempted to work with other organizations and individuals who don't call themselves progressive. And like people literally, like when we were doing the TMH stuff and we got so much media attention in 1 week, and we were scheduling meetings with our city commissioners, and people literally were leaving that space because they were uncomfortable with the conflict that was created. And the crazy thing about that conflict, we weren't protesting. We didn't do civil disobedience. We didn't go chain ourselves to City Hall. All we did was email city commissioners and ask for meetings. And some people were saying that was too far. And what came out of that, when there was a city commission meeting where they discussed TMH and FSU, all of a sudden there was a pastor who said he represents Pastors for Healthcare. This organization never existed. Like this sham of an organization crops up overnight saying that we represent basically all the dang near all the Black churches in the city, and they support the FSU merger. Do the people in the pews on Sunday know that you're saying this? So yeah, it's not about, you can't come because you're a Black conservative. But if you're a Black conservative under a Trump presidency, are you awake? I mean, what are you literally want to sell off your grandkids before they're even born? Do you not care? I mean, how can you want to work with somebody like that?
Some people can't come with us.
All right. So I want to get to the Black, I guess, or conservative definition. I feel like we got a little off the rails. So I want to bring us back.
Okay.
We do have, and I see y'all's questions, but I'm trying to keep us focused. I want to acknowledge County Commissioner Nick Maddox.
Hey, Nick, we see you.
And thank you for the congratulations. Edwina just joined us. Thank you for being here, Wina. And Doretha said it's discouraging when those without the best interests of most citizens are elected. Yes.
Yeah.
And RJ, keep us focused. All right. Yes, I'm trying. All right. So let's go. So conservative, give me. I mean, I feel pretty clear on progressive based on the definitions that you all provided. But tell me about conservative.
All right. So there's different camps of Black conservatives, right? And the MAGA movement has made this very interesting because you have those traditional Black conservatives who are normally religiously based, and they believe in a strict Christian approach to family, and they have conservative values that people might argue. They believe in those things, at least they espouse those ideals. But then we have this kind of neocon MAGA movement, which is kind of like this reactionary white supremacist movement that's kind of taken and swept over the country. And it's done an effective job of shifting the whole conservative movement, or at least the white conservative movement, to remove the mask of that this has anything to do with politics or economics. And they're really just expressing these extreme, we could take whatever we want, we could do whatever we want to people around the world, and everyone just has to, if you're not going to stop us, you just have to accept it, right? Mm-hmm. So then it puts Black conservatives in a unique space where you'll see them defending outlandish white supremacist talking points. And it's just like, do you hear yourself? Like, would you say that to your ancestors if they were in that situation? And I think that with the amount of propaganda that's been put forth and the kind of the cult of personality surrounding the president, that it's really adopted, or it's really co-opted the Black conservative movement, if that was such a thing. But when I think of Black conservatives who I would respect, even though I don't agree with them, I would think of someone like Michael Steele, who was formerly a president in the Republican Party. But when you see Black conservatives today, like Tim Scott and others, and they just are groveling at Trump, it's disgusting. I'm sorry, there's no other way to say it. I can't be polite about it. We have to call it what it is. It's disgusting and it's disgraceful.
That was polite. You said disgusting.
That was very
There's
polite.
A bunch of words I could think of.
But one more thing I want to add to that is, again, I think a simple definition for me for Black conservative is someone who is trying to carve a path for them, a Black person, in a white supremacist system. And at the end of the day, they might get a little rich, but they'll never be anywhere close to the wealth and power that the white people have in the system that they're trying to operate in. So an example, I think, is education. We hear a lot about public education versus private school versus charter. I hope you know that your history as a Black person said that freedmen, when they got their right to vote after the 15th Amendment, they created public education. Public education is there to make sure everybody gets an education. You can choose to put your child in private school or charter, but you need to pay for it. You want to be a part of that, you should be able to pay for it. But everyone's taxes is going to pay for public school. It should not go to pay for your private school. And yes, we should make public school better. But the reason that it's not better is because we have a white supremacist system that was making it not better. So we should be organizing and getting together and making sure that our tax dollars go to where they claim it is supposed to go. And if you want to carve a path for you, Corey Simon, or sometimes actually Gallup Franklin on this particular issue, to carve a path to allow public funds to go into private schooling, I have a problem with that. And I think that is a conservative value and a conservative example.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like a conservative, because I just seen a comment in the chat. I feel like a Black conservative is the opposite of a Black progressive. So what we was just saying about being for all humanity, if you're not for all humanity, sorry, you're a conservative. If you sitting up there on a dais and you deciding that you want to uphold the system that exists, that you know your people are in poverty under, if you want to sit up on a dais and say, well, I live in the Black community, yet you don't want to answer to the people when they're asking how come that Black community hasn't had like a real sustainable grocery store in over 30 years and stuff like that. And your only response is, well, I've been Black all my life. You can't take my Black card. You are a Black conservative. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to make this difficult. We don't have to say, well, instead of talking about us, talk about the whites. Oh, we talk about the white liberals too, but we need to talk about the Black conservatives. Why? Because we're a Black organization sitting here on a Black talk show with Black people in the audience. So we want to talk about the Black conservatives. And the Black conservatives are the people who felt it was proper and just to give $20 million of taxpayer money to FSU to fix a stadium. And their excuse, well, we gave FAMU 10 million. Well, that wasn't enough for FAM anyway. Let's not get into that. It's not about FAMU and FSU. It's never going to be equal, right? Like, that's a Black conservative. The majority of our Black leadership, elected leadership currently in this city and county are Black conservatives. Why? Because all the things y'all saying in the chat. Don't get mad at us and saying, well, why did y'all just start with the accountability? We're not elected officials. Why don't we ask the Black elected officials, why has it been decades and decades? And some of them been in office for decades. One of them, his name is on my kid's school. You know when their school was built? In the 90s. Been an elected official forever. That's a conservative.
Yeah, and I don't think we need to. I mean, I see Malcolm's comments, and I think we hold we hold white progressives accountable. We hold white conservatives accountable. I think, and I said this earlier, I'm so committed to the liberation and progress for Black people because I love Black people. This is how I was raised. I will not settle for anything. I will go through anyone and anything that is opposing Black progress, and that is Black conservatives. That is white liberals, anybody, if they're opposed to what we want. And that's why I'm organizing. That's why we formed this organization. So we have no permanent alliances except the Black community. That's who we serve. So you may find yourself at the opposite end of what we're trying to do, and we will be opposed. But if you're working towards what we want, then we will work with you.
Ooh, all right. Thank you for that. Lots of comments. We're going to probably have to have a part 2. I'm just saying. Lamonte, talk about the Black pastors that parade them around. Warren, that's why it irritates me to continuously see the Black elected officials not help us much.
I relate to that.
KJ, Southern private schools are created as safe havens for Southern whites to escape integration. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Let's see. So by Serenity's by Serenity's definition of Black conservative, any Black person who's made it a little bit is a
responses to Mac. I'm sorry.
Don't respond. We gave him enough.
I say don't respond to it because that's just
he called me out by name.
Great violation of everything we just.
And let's focus on all the other people who are here to be a part of the conversation.
But these comments prove the point because we can't have our own ideas. He thinks what I'm saying is a white progressive's value, like it can't be mine. Yeah. I've been in politics over a decade.
We got plenty of time. We got a few minutes left to talk, y'all.
For sure. All right. So this will be our final question. And then let's talk Tallahassee A.L.E.R.T and how folks can connect, because there are several candidates forums that Tallahassee A.L.E.R.T is putting on. I will be moderating one of those. So let's talk. Last question. What is your vision for Black progressives for 2026, 2031?
That's beautiful. We really just what we want to do is focus on bringing the community together to the best of our ability. You can see the divisions that are within the community, but what we really want to focus on is accountability. We have a platform that we put together through multiple candidate forums, community listening sessions, and discussions. That's available on our website, TallahasseeAlert.org. You can see the focal points: economic empowerment, community safety and well-being, affordable housing, and I'm missing one, ladies. Oh, education access and empowerment as well. So those are the 4 areas where Black people were telling us this is what is hurting us the most in the community. These are the areas we believe that we can make change, and we're going to push that agenda forward. So yeah, that is our vision, is to carry that forward, to grow the organization, bring more Black people in. I saw somebody saying, I'm in Quincy, I'm in Gaston County. We want to get a chapter of A.L.E.R.T out there. We want one in Jefferson County as well. We want to expand this process. We want to work with other Black organizations. The NAACP Tallahassee branch is one of our allies. Black Voters Matter. We work with the League of Women Voters, anybody who's committed to to progress. So we're making alliances and we're growing. And you see all our supporters and people who are here in the chat. We're doing this, y'all, and we want everybody to be a part of it. So get to that Tallahassee A.L.E.R.T page, register, join the organization. We'll get you orientated, bring you into our process, and we can make these policies together. It's not something any of us should be doing alone.
Okay. Very well said. All right. So I definitely want to bring attention to the upcoming candidates forums rather. There's a whole schedule. So March 9th, and these will be hybrid, right? So all of these will be taking place at Watson Temple, but you can view them virtually on the Tallahassee A.L.E.R.T YouTube channel. So March 9th is the mayoral race. On March 23rd, City Seat 5, March 30th, City Seat 3, which is the one I'll be moderating. April 13th, County Seat 3, April 27th, County Seat 5, May 11th, Congress, is it District 2, I believe?
Yeah.
May 18th, House, District 8 and 9, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the flyer. Again, I know this is a very robust conversation, and we didn't get to all of the comments, but I do want to give you all an opportunity to give some closing remarks and tell folks how they can connect and plug into the upcoming panels or candidates forums, how they can register, that sort of thing. So, Melanie, let's start with you. Closing remarks.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Focus,
Still
Melanie. Focus. Look at me. Focus.
reading the comments.
Look at
Okay.
me.
I mean, you share the forums. If you feel like we're missing something, we're missing the mark, come out to our candidate forums. We give the opportunity for people in the community to directly ask questions of people who want to run to be your next mayor, your next commissioners, your next school board members, all of the different elected positions. But we also have town halls and forums where we discuss the issues that are in front of us. So again, we don't only focus on people running for office, but we focus on the issues that we care about and pushing them forward through various means. So like I was saying in the beginning of this webinar, or I'm sorry, in the beginning of this discussion, the charter review committee that we got Dr. Strouble on, and we have multiple other things moving. And so if you're interested, I say come out to one of our events, come out to one of our meetings, and actually get involved in community discussion and trying to be a part of setting the strategy.
All right. Very good. Serenity?
Yeah, my closing thoughts. If conservatism and right-wing politics and ideology worked, we would not be having to have a conversation about Black issues, a Black agenda. Why isn't our city working or country working the way it is? Conservatism has been the leading ideology of this country for 250 years. You had 250 years to get it done. And I say, I'm done waiting. So I'm going to subscribe to something that is better, that I know has worked in smaller scale with my people. Again, like I described with how Black people organize with cooperative economics. And you can connect with us at Tallahassee A.L.E.R.T on Facebook, TLH A.L.E.R.T on Instagram. And please come out to the forums. And if you want to have a say in what our platform is, what we talk about, try to convince me. Come to one of our meetings.
All right.
That's so
Very
funny.
good. And last but certainly not least, Dr. Strouble.
Yeah. We out here, y'all. We doing the work. We're not going to agree on everything. We already realize that, but we don't answer to anybody but the Black community. So if the entire Black community feels that we're too progressive, we're going to listen to that. Unfortunately, we won't agree, but we will find a way to move forward together. But nonetheless, when we talk about being progressives, when we're talking about making progress in our communities. You may be thinking we're talking about the same thing that white progressives are talking about. They have their own ideology. Ours is rooted in the traditions of Malcolm X, Booker T. Washington, W.B. Du Bois, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, Ida Barnett Wells, Reverend C.K. Steele, everyone who worked to move these communities forward. They didn't agree on everything. They had different political perspectives. But at the end of the day, it was the idea that Black people united could move policy, they could move communities, they could do what was necessary for our future generations to survive. So there's certain things that we are passionate about, and we're going to talk about them with passion, but we're willing to listen and try to build consensus with our entire community. So I appreciate the questions tonight. There's always going to be those people who focus on trying to find ways to divide us, but we focus on bringing people together and moving the community forward.
Ashe. Thank you so much. All right. So this is the link for folks that want to be a part of the upcoming candidates forum. Please register there. And then if you want to view the candidates forums, that's the YouTube link to Tallahassee A.L.E.R.T. So connect with this group and let your voice be heard. Let your voice be heard. But we're doing work, right? We trying to move forward, right?
Thank
Yes.
you.
Right. So I hope you all have found this beneficial. If you had, let us know in the comments. I see you, Dr. Willie. And folks said a part two is necessary. um, yes, Marcus, will these forums be recorded and rebroadcasted? Yes, they
Absolutely.
will be. Yes, yes, yes. All right, Ozzy, good discussion. Thank you so much. KJ, part two. Cultivators Collective definitely need a part two. All right, so y'all need to tell me when y'all are available for a part two. All right. Let's see. Aretha, I enjoyed. RJ, much love. KJ, wonderful conversation. Thank y'all so much. And Latifa Oshar, thank you. Revolution will be televised. Yeah, and it's right here on Conversations with Nicole.
Hey,
Okay, so thank you all. This was a robust conversation. For those of you who are new to the platform, I invite you to subscribe to Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel. Subscribing and supporting, and we need all the support we can get. We are here Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, focused primarily on mental health and wellness, especially in Black and Brown communities. But today we were talking, I think, political, social, like all of the wellness, right? Because all of these policies and political decisions affect every aspect of our beings. Okay. So again, thank you. All right. Daryl Parks was on See You
hey,
Monday.
Daryl's in here. Okay.
Okay. Yes. All right.
Dar-
Tifa supporting from Miami. Thank you, thank you. Erica need part two to after the first forum for sure. Okay, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. All right, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Cool. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all all. We'll see y'all soon.
10 years.